So I don't know if you guys, a lot of you guys watch, there's a channel that I've been watching, and he's really a good, and I don't think he realizes how good he really is. And I'm not talking about just in the work. I'm talking about with the videos, and the way he does things is, and the way he thinks is just like I think. Now, I've said before, you know, it's Chad over there at Green Acres, and big shout out to Chad, man, because he's a solid dude, very humble, very grateful. Just he's a lot of things I wish I was, you know, but you know, doing the videos and all, well, my videos are a little more sassy than his, but and he understands, he knows that the image, not image, but the character that I portray in the truck is probably a little bit different than who I really am in the day-to-day life. Because when you're doing videos, things, well, your temper goes up, your stress goes down, up and down, and you're like this in the business. He's more level-headed across the board in the business, and he hasn't been doing YouTube as long as me, and he doesn't have the labor issues that I've had. Not that he's shown. But I know that the way he goes about his business, as far as the properties, I was watching him yesterday on his mower, on the Laser Z, and he was on a mower. And if you watch how he cuts everything, he is flowing with everything. Even though he might be going back and forth like that, and that's cool, you can still flow with a property like that. But within the first 10 minutes of the video, if y'all go check it out, the last video, or the lower pedaling video that he did, if y'all watch how he is cutting that 1 yard with no chute blocker, no nothing, and there's beds all around, and he's cutting it like this, and then when he gets to a certain point, he can still keep going like that if he wanted to, but a straight G, he ain't gonna do that. He's gonna get on around and go around those beds and get that stuff off the beds, and then make a couple more lines, and then do another one, and then do another one. Meanwhile, what that does is that pulls all the debris away from the bed. So then when he gets to that point where he pulled it off the bed, he's far enough away from the beds to shoot it back toward the beds. See, guys like me see that. And I see you, Chad. I see you. And I know it's not a big deal to you. It's not a big deal to me. But to some of the guys that, you know, often come into the channel, and the younger guys, the way he's mowing that property is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. He's not tearing the ground up. He's not all over the place. He's only turning where he has to. He's flowing, is what I call flowing with the property. And I think, Chad, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. So his videos are great, man. Very informative too. There's a few things that I would like to talk to him about, that I can maybe implement in my business. I'd like to know more about the big trucks that he has, and the concept and thinking behind buying 2 of them, and all that, because, well, he just seems so relaxed in his element, if you will. If that makes sense. So, you know, and he's a lot younger than me. He's probably 12 or 13, 14 years younger than me. But he's a Leo. I'm a Leo, Chad. I get it. And I know you've had days like yesterday at some point in time. You don't get to where you are and not have days like I had yesterday. My guy Chad over there at Green Acres was talking about, you know, when the customers start skipping. And I agree, man, because it's another reason, you know, well, that I'll drop a customer behind that. Now, of course, every customer's different, and it has a lot to do with their financial state too. You can't live in $1 million house and pay me $40 to cut your grass, and then cry about, and then want me to, you know, skip, or pay me $60 to cut your grass, and then want me to skip and all that. But when the grass grows twice as tall, they ain't talking about paying more. So I try to make that an understanding with customers off the muscle, whether it needs it or not. And I equate that like, you know, if you got Dish Network, you pay that bill whether you use it or not. If you got internet, you pay that bill whether you use it or not. Same way with the lawn care. Pay that bill whether you damn need it or not. And you can't, the customer can't always win like Chad was saying. I gotta win sometimes. And I'll be quite frank with you guys. I tell the customer that exact phrase. You can't win all the time. I gotta win sometimes. And you know, it's gotta be if it's not a give and take relationship, it's not gonna be a relationship at all for me. And again, that might be one of the reasons why my business hasn't grown. You know, because I don't put up with a lot of stuff. And then I'll tell the customer, well, if I don't cut it today or tomorrow or whatever, then it's gonna be 2 weeks. 2 weeks before I'm back, and I'm gonna want more money. I tell them that, you know, because in the beginning of the season, when I take them on, we have very, very, very candid conversations about, you know, expectations and scheduling and all. And they always are trying to, you know, pin me down to a time and all that. You know, I'm gonna put it like this, y'all. Y'all gonna think this is crazy. The only time I don't mind skipping is when I'm trying to get the one that I'm skipping onto another route because it'd be more efficient. Now, I won't say nothing but see, they don't know that. But if there's a property I got on a route and I know if I put it on this route on the next week, the show would be a lot better than I can do blah 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 on this route, right? So the only time I don't get upset about them skipping or say something about them skipping is when that benefits me, and I say, okay, if I skip that one, if they're calling me to skip, and I just say okay, and I'll tell them, okay, I'll be over there next Tuesday, putting it on another route that's more friendly than the route it happens to be on now, based on the customers that I'm getting and losing. All, you know, you're getting in customers pretty well, you know, I don't want to say pretty constantly, but you know, you always want to be more efficient, and that's my goal. So if it benefits me, I don't mind them skipping. But 9 times out of 10, by the time they get to the point of skipping, I already, the routes are set. Every now and then, you know, with my labor issues all the time, and you know, well, this summer the labor's been pretty consistent. I had that one guy out there well, he flexed that he had a lot of experience, but we all know he didn't. And then I got this guy out here now. He does have experience for real. Yeah, I can tell. You can tell, man. So again, that's a great topic, Chad. And I do feel a certain type of way, and I will drop a customer behind that. That's right up there with playing games with the money. Customer plays games with the money, I'm gonna get my money, and I'm gonna be distant, and then I'm gonna drop them. I don't drop people when they owe me money. I try to schmooze the relationship until I get paid, and then once I get paid, then yeah. And everybody, you know, a lot of customers are gonna act totally different this time of year than they act in May, because when they play games with the timing, they're really playing games with your money. Don't get it twisted, because they are. If you break that all the way down, it's the money that they're playing games with, because now you got a block of time on that route that you done set up, and you ain't making no money in that block of time, but you still got to pay out. Costs you just as much to go up in that neighborhood and do 4 properties as it does to do 3 properties or whatever. It does. So I get that, man, and that's something that, you know, at least where I'm at this year, it became more prevalent than on most years, because most years we don't run into a drought. I had a couple customers skip, and I was okay with it because I was trying to move the scheduling around. So it worked out. But you're always gonna lose money. And what ends up happening is then I get an attitude because I'm on their property after 4 weeks and I'm spending, you know, an hour and a half over there for $75 or whatever, you know, when normally I spend 40 minutes for 75 bucks or 80 bucks or whatever, you know. And it doesn't look as nice either. It doesn't. A month out is that's just too much. And I understand what Chad was saying on the weekly. If it's weekly, it's a lot more doable. I'm a lot more open to skipping. But I'll be honest, I don't have one weekly customer. And I was thinking, you know, that hell, how do you stay in business weekly right here where I'm at if that's all you do? All you do. I don't know, but I've been proven wrong. There's guys that do it. I mean, I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised because a lot of my yards after 2 weeks don't need it. So there's no way that the customers I have are going to pay weekly. And I still find it shocking that there are companies in my area, in my little city, and all they do is weekly, and they make a living at it, and they don't do no bi-weeklies. I find that hard to believe, man, but you know, I'm it sounds like I'm wrong. And you know, I'm a realist. I can look in the mirror. I stand corrected. My bad. No trouble. You know, one guy was coming in saying, you know, the weekly lawns that you always are dogging people out. No, I don't dog nobody out. I'm just saying that I don't do any weekly lawns, man. I have none, not one. Out of 100 lawns that we do, well, we do more than 100 lawns. Out of about 90 customers and about 110 lawns or so. But you got to have that many if you're doing bi-weekly. That's the same as 50 weeklies. So, yeah. But I do a lot of stuff outside of the lawn, man, and I'm always looking for that kind of thing to do too. Trimming trees, cleaning up trees, all that kind of thing pays a lot more than the lawn. The lawn maintenance actually, you know, pays less than anything else. But without the lawn maintenance, you can't get in the door. You got to get in the door.